Yo, what is up guys? TheFlawlessWin here today, and today we have an RU match versus my buddy Cody, or Hydreigon Master 635 if you prefer. But before I get into the battle, I just want to thank you guys for helping me reach 500 subscribers. That's definitely a big milestone for me, just because it's half of 1,000, and I think when people see 500 subscribers on a computer screen, they're like, oh, that's not that much. But if there were 500 people with you right now, your room would be very crowded. So yeah, that was just kind of a random thought. But yeah, thanks to everybody for subscribing. 500 subscribers is definitely nice, and hopefully we'll be able to make it to 1,000. So back to the battle. We had this before Smogon made their RU tier, and I'm pretty sure they still haven't made RU. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really been keeping up with everything, but yeah, I'm pretty sure RU still isn't made. But Cody just took everything under 3.4% in UU and kind of copied and pasted it into a file and labeled it RU, which he sent to me. So I just took a bunch of Pokemon off that file and just threw them together. So this isn't really a serious team or a serious battle, so keep that in mind while watching this. So I'm going to lead off with my Steelix, and he's going to lead off with his Azelf. My priority was just to get out my Stealth Rocks because he didn't have a Rapid Spinner or Defogger, and even if he wanted to go for the Fire Blast or Flamethrower here, I could live it with Sturdy, so yeah, I'm just going to stay in and go for my Stealth Rocks. He actually doesn't go for the Flamethrower or Fire Blast. At the time, I thought he maybe was fearing the Gyro Ball, because I'm pretty sure Gyro Ball to Azelf does like over half, and Azelf is definitely a threat to my team, so I thought he might want to preserve it by going for the U-turn. So he U-turns out into his Gastrodon, and if you guys noticed, I don't have a Grass type on my team, so taking out this Gastrodon is actually going to be kind of hard. So my plan is just going to be going into a Slowking and going for the Toxic to wear this thing down, and I do go for the Toxic, but I fucking miss. And just Salt in the Wound, he goes for his and hits, so yeah, that's just really annoying. I miss mine, but he hits his. So I knew he'd probably go into Bronzong here, but for some reason I go for Psyshock. I probably should have just gone for Scald or just switched out into my Banette predicting this. But for some reason I just go for Psyshock. I guess I thought just in case he stayed in with his Gastrodon, I didn't want to give him the Storm Drain boost. So yeah, I'm not really too sure about that play, but I'm not really worried about it because this Bronzong is pretty much a free switch in for my Banette. And if you guys have been playing RU at all, I know most people haven't because it's not an official tier yet, but if you guys have been playing RU, you know that Banette is a giant-ass threat in this tier. Up in UU where all the other Megas are running around, this thing isn't too good, but down in the RU tier, this thing is insane. It's so good. So I'm just going to Mega Evolve and go for the knockoff, and do over half to what I assume is a physically defensive Bronzong. So yeah, that's pretty impressive, and I'm just going to be able to knock him out with the second one. He really has nothing to switch into this, so this is definitely going to be, preserving this Banette is definitely going to be crucial for me. So he brings in his Heliolisk, and I thought he might have the Dark Pulse, which is why I go into my Hitmonchan here. But he just goes for the Volt Switch. I was thinking at the time he might have predicted this, or maybe he just doesn't have it at all, so I'm not quite sure. He might not have it, or he might have predicted the switch to Hitmonchan. So he Volt Switches out into his Azelf, and thinking he might go for the Fire Blast, particularly my Steelix switch in, I'm going to go out into my Slowking, but he actually goes for the U-turn, and I really, really wanted to stay in with my Hitmonchan predicting that, but it was just too risky, because my Hitmonchan is definitely a big threat to his team once this Banette is dead. So yeah, he goes for the U-turn, and that does a ton of damage to my Slowking, so that thing is banded for sure. I should have known it was banded right after the first turn, because it did enough damage to my Steelix to the point where I couldn't get back into Sturdy range, and a special attacking Azelf definitely wouldn't be able to do that much damage with U-turn, so I really should have known that it was a banded Azelf. But like I said, this was a fun battle, wasn't really taking it too seriously, and yeah. So he goes into his Banette and Mega Evolves. I don't have anything for his Banette, and he doesn't have anything for my Banette, so I'm just going to have to let my Slowking die, and I have really nothing to kill this thing in one hit, so I go into my Heliolisk thinking maybe I can possibly knock it out with a Thunderbolt, but no. Mega Banette is kind of bulky, so it's going to be able to live that, and I go into my Swellow thinking, okay, I can knock this thing out and get my Toxic Ore boost, but no, I forgot about Prankster Destiny Bond, which Prankster Destiny Bond just makes Banette that much better, because not only is it a powerhouse with Knockoff and Shadow Sneak and Shadow Claw and all that, but it also has the Prankster Will-O-Wisp and Destiny Bond, so if you bring in something to revenge kill it, it's either going to get burned or knocked out completely, so yeah, Banette is so good. But on the double down, I'm going to go out into my Hitmonchan, thinking maybe he would bring in his Heliolisk, expecting me to bring in my Banette, but no, he brings in his Azelf, and I'm going to have to switch out into my Steelix because I know he's banded at this point. And he brings in his Kingdra, and I really cannot risk this thing setting up rain dances and stuff, so I'm just going to have to stay in and either go for the Earthquake or the Roar. I decide to go for the Earthquake just because after this turn, I'm going to be able to get back into sturdy range with my leftovers, so he can set up all he wants. He's still going to have to knock me out in 2 hits, and I'm thinking maybe after the Life Orb damage, 2 Earthquakes will be able to knock him out, and if that is the case, then that will be great. But no, he's going to be able to barely hang on. I think in his narration he said he lived with 3, so yeah, that's unfortunate. He's going to be able to live and knock me out with the Hydro Pump the next turn. So yeah, down goes my Steelix, but down goes his Kingdra at the same time, so there have been a lot of double downs in this battle. I'm just now realizing that. But I'm going to go out into my Hitmonchan again, hoping he would bring in his Heliolisk instead of his Azelf like he did last time, and he does do that. The reason he didn't bring in his Azelf is because he was fearing me bringing my Banette back in. So yeah, I do get that prediction correct, and I'm just going to go for the Ice Punch, hoping he would bring in his Azelf, predicting a Mach Punch. An Iron Fist Life Orb Ice Punch would definitely do a number to that Azelf, so unfortunately he does not bring it in, but he brings in his Gastrodon, and that Ice Punch does a lot of damage. From that damage, I definitely know that a Drain Punch will be able to knock him out, so that Gastrodon is definitely especially defensive. So yeah, I'm going to be able to knock him out with the Drain Punch and get a lot of my health back, but he is able to bring in his Azelf again, and I really have no reason in preserving my Hitmonchan at this point, because all he has left is this Azelf and his Heliolisk. I have Banette for the Azelf, and I can just Destiny Bond the Heliolisk. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Sneak right here, and I mean, if this was a serious match and we were actually trying to predict, I guess he could have gone into his Heliolisk there, but like I said, this match is just for fun, and we weren't really going to try hard, so yeah, I'm going to be able to knock out his Azelf with the Shadow Sneak, and he brings in his Heliolisk, and I was thinking he would have the Dark Pulse and knock me out with it there, which is why I went for the Destiny Bond, but it turns out he doesn't have it, and he just goes for the Thunderbolt, and I'm able to live. So I could have won there if I went for the knockoff, but, you know, who really cares? It actually ends up being a tie, because I knock him out with a Destiny Bond. The game says he won, but I don't know why it does that. Obviously, when neither of us have a Pokemon left, it's a tie, but for some reason the game thinks he won, but, you know, who cares? So I hope you guys enjoyed this fun match. I'll try to get up some more serious battles soon. I'm definitely going to get back into OU soon, so yeah, thank you guys for 500 subscribers, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.